Shouts out. We are early today. That's because we ain't messing with EP in the motherfucking studio. That motherfucker sick though. He be smoking gas station weed.
That's why he's sick.
That's why he's sick. But welcome to the Sohigho broadcasting company where we I always say that, the Sohigho Gas Company. That's because of the short-term memory loss. Because that damn dab, that shit gets I promise you, that's a real condition of smoking weed that I could tell you. Right after I smoke, I'm 15 minutes. Not smart. I know I lose some IQ points. And here on the Sohigho Gas Company, we like to talk about cannabis here in Ohio. We like to talk about information, cultivation, and legalization. And it's my pleasure to have one of my co-hosts. I'm going to consider him my guest co-host, my good buddy, and my man Ramon Rivas for his second time. No, this is his third time, I believe.
Something like that.
It's been a couple times. And we got a lot to talk about. We got a 420. Let me get this music off before they ban us out. But I can play. Shout out to my man Jamal Cody, who give us our background music. Jamal Cody Music. So nice to co-sponsor with us. It's one of our first sponsors who partnership with us with the Sohigho brand too. So eventually I want every comedian leaving this town, if I could have it my way, I'll put all y'all with a shirt on, send y'all with some swag.
I like the shirt. I like swag.
Yeah, we're gonna get to this. I don't know if you can fit this nice Sohigho one right here, but it's too big. He said that.
I'm all happy and content in life, so I've expanded my circumference.
He expanded. But yeah, Ramon, we're going to get to some legal stuff, but I'm going to start about what you've been doing a little bit before we get into some of these topics, though. So I know you've been touring. I know you done passed off the mic that never ends, but you was there at Con 2 this weekend. Shout out to Con 2, Dunlaps, the mic that never ends on Sunday night. If you're not doing nothing, Sohigho is always there. We sponsoring it. And I don't like to say it's a cannabis event, but it's a cannabis-friendly event. We don't smoke inside, but the smoking lounge is lit outdoors for adults to participate. And it's a very good time. So definitely love going over on Sunday. But tell us a little bit about what you've been doing.
Man, I've just been trying to avoid doing my taxes. I finally sat down today and did them and just very stressful. But yeah, it's one of those things that in years past I made most of my money chasing it.
Yeah.
You feel me? So like flying to a gig to make $500 and after accounting for your expenses I made $50.
Ooh, shit.
So now I wound up making more money in royalties. So I've just kind of been focused on like that grind. So I got on 420. I'm dropping 3 projects.
Yes.
I'm dropping an album called Bits, which is I recorded a series of sets at Zany's in Chicago a couple years ago.
Okay.
I used that as the foundation for my Bits Over Beats, the music and comedy together.
Okay.
So now Bits is just the a cappella version of it.
Okay.
So releasing that. I have a project called Sounds to Smoke To. My first album's called Sounds to Smoke To, but the second one Sounds to Smoke To. Trying to hit him with the Fast and Furious vibe. But that was just like another mix of like instrumental, so kind of similar to this. Like if you just need to roll something up or you're just kind of vibing, you need something on in the background that's not gonna have lyrics that kind of distract you. Sounds to Smoke To there for that. And then I'm dropping a video project called 8-Bit, which actually taped last year on my birthday. You was at the
that shit fabulous.
So that's finally getting released on YouTube. I wrote the material. I performed it. I directed the shoot. I edited the footage, and I scored the final project. So that's all. Those are all dropping on 420.
Nice.
So I've just been kind of casually working on those over the things, and then now, like you said, I pass off the weekly open mic, but now I do a show.
Yes.
The last Sunday every month called
Must see.
Funny Feasts.
Yes.
Because I enjoy cooking, but I don't have a lot of space to host people.
Right.
So the last Sunday every month from 6 to 8, I prep a big shared meal. So the first one was tacos.
Yeah.
I do new material up top. My goal with that is at the end of 10 shows, I'll have about an hour and a half of different material that I didn't have to sit down and stress out and like build out into an act.
Right.
I could just kind of write in bursts every month.
Very good.
So I'll have that to release a couple more projects. And then also I have 2 featured comics every show.
Yes.
Creating a space for them to kind of stretch out,
yeah,
see where they are, and then I step back and I shoot and direct
the
coverage of their stuff. So, you know, I know for me, I know that I have to follow through to release a YouTube special, to release a audio album. Not everyone has that, but I like to give people those ingredients.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's the goal. So hopefully by the end of the year, there'll be a fair amount of Cleveland comics who, you know, maybe put out a couple videos, maybe put out a couple albums. If not, I'll put out a couple videos, a couple albums on my own. But, you know, just trying to create space for other artists to expand their position.
Yes.
Kind of help them get those things that will kind of make you not certified, but like it's different when you could Google and like, oh, this motherfucker have an album. Or, oh, look at this. The special's got X amount of views. It just kind of helps validate you a little bit. So I do that the last Sunday every month, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. At Dunlap's, and it ends in time for Con 2 to run its normal 8 o'clock time, and the mic that doesn't end starts about 9:45. So Sunday nights is always a dope vibe at Dunlap's, but the last Sunday every month especially is especially dense.
Absolutely.
It's just good people, good community. So
I like to give you flowers too, because people who don't know, one, I don't think nobody reps Cleveland as hard as my man when he goes out of town. And that would be Ramon. I like to call you Cleveland's favorite comedian, even if all of Cleveland don't want it. You are, because you're a great ambassador. And also, you know, me and you talk about the arts and comedy not really being looked at as in the art community as an art form. But when you go and you hang out with a comedian, it's just not easy, bro. It is a talent. It is time. And you can be trained up. And it is some structure to what you're doing. I seen you playing time workshop with younger other comedians. I won't say young, but comedians don't have the same experience you do. And I'm going to say, as just somebody in Cleveland and a Cleveland resident, we appreciate you. And I want to give you flowers. And I personally I like the guy. I love hanging out with him. I like doing life with Ramon. He's very cool. But you being part of your community, the comedic community, and growing and having an outlet and being an example, not so much giving so many classes, but leading by example with professionalism and not gatekeeping your information. You try not to. I mean, but I see these other comedians beefing. It's almost dumb on dumb. Like comedic crime on comedic crime is it's not easy. And he'll tell you, people got to get on a car and ride and do these open mics to get yourself known and build this up. It's similar to music and a rapper. Even with other artists, there's plenty of dope artists that's not nationally known because they don't do the PR, they don't do the work. Oh, you only showed in Cleveland. You want to know why you only a Cleveland artist? You never showed even in Columbus, big bro. And being able to do that and you not gatekeeping and helping people out. And I don't know, it's just built into you a sense of community and the way you socialize and hang out and bring us together. You know, I like to say you got the gift of power of assembly. You know, a lot of people talented can't bring people together. Like you got grandma type vibes, not really, but you know, grandma said everybody coming to dinner. Everybody coming to dinner. And if Ramon call us out for anything he's doing, and he is very true. I like to think of Sunday night, especially when you did that. It just reminded me of old school variety show, like Sunday night TV, but it was live. And when you added the food in there that first time, I tell you, that was like my best event that year. And trust me, I saw Uncle Waffles. I went to, I think I said Rod Wade in Pittsburgh. I seen some great shows, but that was, I just felt so thoroughly entertained. And that was your birthday celebration too. So it was so festive. The food was excellent. The other vendors showed up, and it was just, you could take some, leave some, but it's hard to stay somewhere for like 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
And that night was that, and the continuation of it is that, and just giving Poke and they flanned them, they shot like that. And people don't know, like, you work up to 30 minutes. So that was Pope's first 30 minutes.
First 30, it was Flint. He said I was the first person to ask him to run 45, and he'd been doing comedy as long as I have.
And so he was good.
He was good, and he had. He said on stage earlier today he had a seizure.
Yes, so he did.
So he was personally feeling self-conscious because he kept he would space out and forget where it was and have to restart.
Yes.
And so I told him, because he came off and he was like, "Man, I'm sorry." I'm like, "Dude, you did your thing."
Yes.
Like we can edit that on the back end,
right?
Like, but this also don't need to be anything huge. Like, this is just a heat check.
Right.
You see where you are. Oh, shit, there's stuff I didn't do. There's stuff I could have done cleaner. There's stuff I could have done poop. And so I told him, I'm like, we'll get you back around. Like, it's not like I'm hopefully going to keep these going every month.
Oh, you will. You will.
So, I'm a type that, like example, I had a comic who I know, like, a little bit from out of state. He posted, sent me a message like, "Man, I love what you're doing with those funny feasts. I'll be in town the day this month. Was wondering if I could hop on."
Nice.
And I'm like, that's cool. I just got a lot of people from Cleveland I want to work with first before I start. Before I start getting with people I don't really know. I want to make sure I help the homies out first.
Yeah, we the same. We absolutely the
it's all about building something that is equitable and sustainable,
correct,
and can scale up. You feel me?
See, that's your business acumen. And I know, shout out to my man Mark Mueller. He's a very talented artist, and he has a high position job, getting like 6 figures, doing art, right? Mm-hmm. But he works with the left and the right side of his brain. And I think you have a gift of the business side, where a lot of people, artists, really don't understand. Like, you need a manager. You need your shortcomings. Booking is taking you away from doing your promotion, is taking you away from your craft. But you have been blessed, like I say, with several gifts, not just the power of assembly, but the structure and the business, or the way you go about it. It's teachable, and it's definitely scary. And you said some of the greatest business tools of all. Man, proof of concept is scalable, and you do that so much. Like, that is so just from a business standpoint.
And I do it all on real high. So,
like, when you talk about why he on this show, we do share the plant very, very well. Well, we got some information, and we're gonna start off, and we always like to talk about legalization and where the state of the law is right now. And this week, just about 2 days ago, City of Cleveland passed 4 new amendments that I wanted to talk about with you, and it's targeted straight for smoke shops and tobacco shops. And just for our information, just so the people know, there is a distinct difference between dispensary, smoke shop, and what we used to call a head shop.
Which a head shop would sell paraphernalia, bowls, water pipes,
the puff codes,
papers, blunts,
all that.
Maybe patchouli, maybe some incense. Maybe some missile, a bunch of like some shirts.
Grateful Dead shit.
But it's mostly both. And then a smoke shop was somewhere you can go and I can buy vapes.
Yep.
I can buy loose tobacco. I can buy CBD.
Right.
And then a dispensary, you can go buy marijuana, and recreational or medicinal.
Right. And to be clear, just so we know, in Ohio, when you go to a dispensary, you are still only buying medical marijuana. Let's not get this twisted. We act like we are purchasing recreational marijuana out the dispensary. That's why the dispensaries is not holding. See, you can find great products out of there, but it's not what a marijuana. That's when it's going to be a separation of what cannabis and what medical marijuana is compared to marijuana. Marijuana was grown intentionally for THC to get people high.
Mm.
They put less emphasis on CBD9, CBDN, CBDG, all of the factors that's therapy related to, whatever ailment you might have that you're looking to help out. They bump all of the terpenes and all of the other components up and care less about the THC. The THC is the last metric in getting that weed tested. And that is the weed that's in Ohio dispensaries right now.
And then also, I think people need to understand, state law limits the number of actual dispensaries able to open.
Let's go.
Each territory or county, for lack of a better phrase, because some of them overlap counties, has a specific number of dispensaries they can have in this geographic location. Right. So there's only a certain number of those available.
Correct.
All the smoke shops you've seen opening up with little crosses that say we sell recreational here, get your CBD, get your THCA, get your stuff. Those are not dispensaries.
They are not.
They're the equivalent of when a gas station sells Kamchatka vodka.
Yeah.
It is not a liquor store.
Not a liquor store.
Liquor stores have to be a certain thing. And that's not actual liquor because it's a low enough proof. There's all those things that kind of keep it from being the thing. So I just want people to understand that the smoke shops you're seeing that are presenting themselves as dispensaries are not dispensaries. There's a set amount of those in the state. So the state has parameters, right? And then the city just passed these ordinances. My name is Jack to control the what is happening with smoke shops, because now smoke shops are like that are popping up with the frequency you used to see vape stores.
Correct. When vaping got hot.
And all these things open up, it's kind of the same thing. Now a lot of these vape shops are just throwing up a
CBD sign, THC sign. And let me just be clear. The legal ramification why these guys are in business, because they are not selling a class, they're not selling drugs. They don't even act like they selling real marijuana out the dispensary. So smoke shops, legally, I don't give a shit what they say and what they sell and what bag you think is good out of there. Legally, if you go in there, I'm going to give you all y'all gang. Ask them for the COA. That's a certificate of authenticity of what you say. Hey, where's this grown? Say, I don't know. Could you look at the COA? It's almost a trap. I'm telling y'all a good trick so you know if you get what. They pull out a COA, don't buy the shit. You know why? It's guaranteed THCA. Unless your dude is shiesty and he putting one thing in one bag and putting it in another bag. If you want to risk that, but that's just not why you should go to smoke shops. And smoke shops got us all in trouble out of Columbus by selling that swimming pool blue and pink moon rock type shit that was out there, because they were selling it to 18 and under. The other part about one of those amendments that we talking about in the differences in those smoke shops is you guys gotta quit. You gotta ID 21 and up.
Yeah.
And kids, I ain't telling you how to be bad, but if you ain't got no plug, you shouldn't be smoking anyway.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and read these. Cleveland City Council has passed 4 new laws aimed at updating and strengthening the city's tobacco and smoke shop regulations. Notice it does not say dispensary.
Correct.
Among the changes is a requirement that all retailers selling tobacco products now must obtain an annual license for each location. Yeah. So, Planet of the Vapes.
Once a year.
Once a year, they'll need to do that. The second ordinance establishes the Cleveland Tobacco Retail Licensing Regulation, which mandates that all retailers acquire a license for each store selling tobacco products within city limits. An annual licensing fee will apply. So now this is anything in the city of Cleveland. So Correct. If you're in Brook Park, I don't know if it applies to you. If you're somewhere else in Cuyahoga County, I don't think it applies to you.
Definitely don't.
This is just for the city of Cleveland. So does that affect East Cleveland?
No. I don't even think they
does that impact old Brooklyn?
It is so gray in here.
That's what I mean. These are neighborhoods of Tremont. That's Cleveland, but It's Tremont. So The third law introduces new zoning restrictions for smoke shops. These establishments can no longer be located within 2 miles of another smoke shop, cannot share a building with another smoke shop, and must be at least 500 feet away from churches, schools, parks, playgrounds, and libraries. Now, dispensaries already have that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these things that are not dispensaries but are presenting themselves as dispensaries are now required to adhere to the same thing dispensaries.
Correct.
The final measure limits how much signage can be displayed in shop windows. Under the new rule, it can't occupy more than 25% of a window's area.
Yeah.
They both went into effect immediately.
They
were passed unanimously by this council on April 14th. And the legal age to buy tobacco products in Cleveland is 21.
Correct.
So you can't buy cigarettes in Cleveland anymore if you're 18. You got to pop out to somewhere else and get them.
Absolutely. And it's a couple points that I would like to make on that too. I don't want to knock nobody for business, but they are being false. You guys not studying what you're doing. You heard he made no mention of marijuana or cannabis shops or cannabis sales in there. You know why? Because legally they can't say it. And here's another thing that is not in the details in that. You will be visited twice a year. So here's smoke shops. You on warning. You on blast. And guess who's the enforcement agency? It's the Cleveland Police, it's the Health Department, and the Cleveland Inspectors. So you got 3 different departments that can roll on you, and they guarantee you with that license, they come in twice a year for a surprise pop-up. So you got to have your COAs and all of that out there selling THCA, and it's really kind of crazy. A couple points I have with that is that this is America, and with the current office cutting out all the regulations and this capitalistic system, this is one time that I would be like, listen, this is a product that the people are going to tell. This ain't something like a good restaurant. If it's shitty, ain't nobody going. I don't give a shit what we talking about. And this product that we talk about, if you don't give the people what they want, every street trapper, everybody, if you don't represent good and don't have the truth, trust me, people will give you a layoff and they ain't calling you for 2 or 3 weeks because you sold them a bag of booth, and that's what's going down. I mean, we don't even talk about all of this regulation and all of that. They never stepped up to the gas stations like that. The gas stations is all got a bag in it. The gas stations got the vape stuff in there. So the clarity on that, when our bureaucrats don't go ask the market, they do no focus group, they do no nothing. Call some of us citizens together so we can work on a reasonable compromise. I agree with age gateness. As much as I was a youngster and smoked, bro, but I'm also different being a veteran that went to war. If you want to sign your name on the line at 18, goddamn it, if you want to snort some cocaine, I'm like, don't hurt nobody. That's kind of on you if you're willing to go die for this joint. Yeah. And at 18, if you could sign, if you can vote, you know, alcohol is tricky because alcohol will make you crash your car. These other things I don't know about all the way like that. Like, you know, you're paying your own bills. So those things, and it's going to be an exception. And if you read into, I think it's the part of Amendment 3, they adopted all of these state rules, which is so Swiss cheese, bro. Yeah, bro. The state rules, to add that into amendment is crazy.
But then it's also like, so what I read was this from this city council. These are the ABCD points. Yeah. But then reading about how it's reported, you know, this one says, since January 1st of this year alone, there have been over 100 applications for city occupancy permits by the operators of smoke shops. Now, for me, that's 100 small business owners applying to open small businesses, right?
Is that a bad thing?
I don't know, but the next quote is, "It's unimaginable to have 5 shops pop up in a half a mile radius, and that's the kind of stuff that we're seeing," said the city council president Blaine Griffin. Now, I can leave here. There's going to be 3 gas stations, 4 McDonald's, probably 3 Starbucks. You know what I'm saying? Like all these things.
Right.
I don't understand how I guess if you're attaching some sort of quote unquote moral guidelines to this, but it's again, so Cleveland City Hall says that the pronounced rise in the number of smoke shops set off alarms in the neighborhoods and at City Hall amid concerns that some shops are magnets for trouble. Now there's a quote from this same Griffin guy. "There's been multiple shootings and multiple issues that have been associated with that. So we want to give ourselves the tools to be able to go inside those locations and be able to regulate them." Now, then I ran a search for Cleveland smoke shop shooting.
What they come up with, Ramon?
There's nothing.
That was 0.
There's a 17-year-old male who has an active warrant for aggravated murder was arrested after a break-in at a smoke shop.
Yeah.
He didn't shoot nobody at the smoke shop. And then
79th at the plug. We know
there is one that shooting. A man shoots his wife at her Wellington smoke shop before taking his own life. And this was back in November of 2020. So there are no actual shootings happening, and maybe there's some kerfuffles.
Right. Oh, it's gotta be. It's Cleveland.
It's Cleveland, but also an actual dispensary. I have to go in. I give them my ID.
Right.
They're behind security.
Yeah.
There's a security dude there.
Yeah.
They log in my ID.
Yeah.
They buzz me to go back.
Yeah.
And I look at the product and I make my choices, and then I leave with a sealed bag.
Yeah.
That's how it works in Denver. That's how it works in California. At an actual dispensary.
Correct.
If you're just going to a smoke shop, it's just the dude on his phone like, "Yo, what's up? What you need?"
I got that.
All right. Okay. Huh? Yeah. All right. So it's not the same, right? Nah. But there's this it's interesting, the conflation of none of these ordinances or these things the council are talking about have anything to do with actual cannabis. Nothing. These are all just smoke shops. Changing their pronouns.
Right.
That's all it is.
Right.
And so the city council passed this thing that says many of these smoke shops give the indication that they're selling marijuana. That's illegal. They'll sell THC gummies, trying to blur the line between hemp and THC. So they play fast and loose around the rules. That's one of the reasons we want to tighten up the rules in Cleveland so we can identify what these smoke shops do, and they have licenses in order to operate.
Right.
So now it says there has to be at least 2 miles between smoke shops.
Yeah.
I live in Brook Park, so I come north up 130th and I enter Cleveland.
Yeah, that's
on 130th from 480 to 71.
Right.
There's 1.
Yeah, I'm coming with you.
3. There's 3 smoke shops in this little thing.
Correct.
So now, which one of them has to close?
Yeah,
which one of them's allowed to be open to do business? It's just all these weird. It's a lot of weirdness around this stuff. And again, they're not talking about weed, but they're kind of like trying to tie weed into these things, and it's a separate thing. And that's, I feel like, the lack of clarity and public presence. Like, example, in other states, I can have a billboard for the best cannabis in Cleveland. Come to the Botanist. I'm just gonna name that's I know that's an actual dispensary up by Lakeside. There's a spot called the Botanist.
Correct.
You can go up there. It's a nice little Apple store vibes, and you can't advertise in Cleveland, right? So most people don't know that. Most people maybe know about like Rise dispensaries, which is kind of like a
brand name.
Even they can't advertise.
Right.
So there is no place I can go to get a valid list of dispensaries.
Nope.
So I have to just smoke shop. Oh, they got the weed symbol. Okay, I can just go in here and buy weed. And they have the little. It's it's the same as salvia. They got the smell. They can do all the things, but it's not. It all tastes terrible.
Yeah. It's trash.
It's trash. But that's what I mean. Like if things could be more open, clear, I think it would be helpful, because then I don't think people would patronize these places.
Right.
And then I think a lot of these places would also understand what you're trying to actually open. You're not legally allowed. Like, you're not allowed to open a dispensary. Only these people with the licenses who have these locations in these little areas have permission to do that.
Correct.
So it's because of the narrowness of how they legalized it.
Yeah.
It's created this weird gray zone of people pretending.
Yeah.
And that's detrimental to customers. I feel like that's detrimental
to the
market. That's detrimental to the to cannabis itself, because a lot of people are like, I went to just smoke shop and got some bad. It was bad weed. And it's like, well, that wasn't real weed. It wasn't real weed. So I on one hand, I appreciate the efforts to get a little bit of control cohesion over this rapid expansion of pretenders.
Correct.
Right? But also at the same time, I don't understand the restriction of small businesses. Like, I don't know how any of these vape shops stayed open to this point.
Man, that's so funny, bro. I swear they wash your money, bro.
Them in like furniture stores. I'm like, what are y'all doing?
Furniture stuff.
But I think it's hopefully this helps lead to. I don't know. I just hope it doesn't muddy the cannabis waters for consumers even more than it already is.
And I give you hope, and I give you just facts of this world, is that the industry was alive and kicking well before they passed the law. I mean, we was born into a cannabis market here in Ohio. People around the world who might not know, Ohio been smoking weed. I've been lucky. I went to the service. I traveled around. This is a pot smoking state. I mean, we smoke weed. It's just, I don't know if we go inside for the 4 seasons, but it's always been, I didn't stumble in, I didn't make the market. The first seeds wasn't planted on, a couple years ago on 12/11 or whatever. Didn't happen. 12/7 is when it was. It just didn't happen. It was already here. And it's almost like our politicians are being adolescents and not going and talking to industry experts about what really to do. Man, either y'all faking like y'all don't smoke weed because of your position and standing on some moral principles or some bullshit, while constantly letting alcohol run rampant. Bitch.
Imagine if they said that same thing about bars.
Oh, that'd be
great.
There
can't be a bar 2 miles within each other.
It'll be a fucking outrage.
By a school,
man,
or by a
ain't happening. Don't even go down. They don't even get approached. That's another part about this law. I think, like I said, I was lucky enough to be in a community meeting with St. Clair Superior today, and I was with some good politicians. I don't know if I'm out them all the way, but they almost like she made a statement that we don't make policy, we just do reactionary policy. And this is what this is. This is a bunch of people saying, "God damn, it's a smoke shop everywhere," and I say the same damn thing. But to your point, and I made this reference to you earlier, they're taking some buildings that was not being occupied in Cleveland. And I don't give a shit if it's a smoke shop. Shit, I don't go eat kosher food. Am I mad that the kosher food shop is at the corner? Not one bit. He's doing business, is serving the community. And if he's getting a share of his market and he want to keep his lights on, that's not bad. And we are in America. And I hate to agree with the current the national office holders. They're cutting so many regulations and trimming shit out. This is almost like a violation of the free market system. Let the capitalistic system work. if you want to do it and you want to get in there and you want to take that small percentage, you're sitting next to somebody chopping your neighborhood market clearly in half. It's going to be who has the best product. Yeah. This thing right here is the cream is going to rise to the top. Consistency, having good problem, having education. You know, you want all of the great customer service, and then it's just like in Detroit. I mean, we don't have to go far. These dudes is almost acting like we can't take a ride up to Detroit as the council people. And we just need a tour guide. Let's go visit a few people, talk to a few people, and come back. They got 3 to 4 years out on us. And for us to go so blindly at these little things like this and stop somewhat. Listen, these ain't brothers from the neighborhood. I know the brown people who opening up these shops. And if that's a basis for them, you know, that shop with the market, they be like, damn, me and you open a shop. Come on, we can't do it, man. We need another product in here. We might switch to microgreens and some organic milkshakes or something like that. But guess what we did? We got the structure. We know how to go to the city and get these licenses. And you're going to stop a certain amount of people from trying to pay you taxes and opening up business. Maybe it is too many, but it's not that. But also, I agree with educating. It's in the law that you better check these IDs. Yeah. So just get enforcement before, you know, we haven't even been doing it long enough. Such a reactionary thing. And to tie this into the state law, that is, you guys didn't even read the state law. Because if you read the state law, well, you're not talking about nothing. But in reality, we're talking about THCA. And when you're talking about THCA and a product that's considered by the FDA, the same thing as corn or whatever legally that you can buy out the grocery store, it's nothing but an agricultural property. Why would you stop somebody from selling it? And if the consumer, who we are on here to educate, don't want to take this education about what you're doing, you know, well, it's some saying about, you know, the customer, you know, you only victimizing yourself, basically, you know what I'm saying, by not understanding what you're doing. But then some people get, CBD is not even as bad as THC to me. THCA. CBD be at 6 or 7% THC be in it, and it's still CBD. Yeah. If you don't know, y'all, stem seeds and stick weed from back in the day, brick weed, that was only like 7-8%. So if you like marijuana light, and that's where your tolerance is, stay right there. Shit is cheaper. Don't be coming over here to these dabs and all that shit. This shit is just like expensive ass alcohol. It keep going up and going up. Don't get your tolerance up. That's why I believe also in some age gating of this stuff, because what I used to smoke it like when I was underage used to tear me up. Like I couldn't smoke what we smoking now. I tell you a great as an example of that. You couldn't find a 6-foot bong. Only way you finding that is in your uncle's closet from college. Like we had, because a 6-foot bong or anything modern weed, 17-18%, but you might pass all the way out. Like it is some of that. So, you know, these laws, and I do, but I just think they just don't take no information in.
I mean, I think it's that. I think it's a mix of a lot of government bureaucracy is very conservative. So even though Cleveland is considered a liberal city, a lot of the people in these positions are not of a mind to open their way of thinking.
Right.
You feel me? So it's like, oh, weed's always been bad. Now there's all these weed shops around, and they're not even weed shops. So how can we control these?
Right.
And I don't know. I don't know what that is a failure on what level, but it just, you know, the conservativeness of the state is impacting the municipality, which is gonna impact the individual. You know, so again, I think most people who are cannabis consumers at this point in Ohio they know better than to go to a smoke shop.
I mean,
and there's probably most of them probably prefer to make a trip up to Michigan.
Let's keep it 100.
Because a lot of the dispensaries in Ohio just aren't really knowledgeable. They're not really equipped to. They're not really equipped to be a part of the community. You know what I'm saying? To where it's like, I don't know. I feel like back in the day, like all the weed smokers kind of knew each other or through like something connected y'all. Right. And now it feels like there's an intentional disconnection between all these things, which creates all these gray spaces. Right. So, I think it's ultimately we're in a better spot than ever before because we do have actual dispensaries you can go to. Yeah. We have these great smoke shop type vibes, which, the less knowledgeable person, the less experienced individual might be fine with the products they're offering. Correct. That's true. What I'm saying? True. But I feel like the actual cannabis users know better. Yeah. And so it's I don't think there's a willingness to inform the general public to get them to that same knowledge point. Yeah. Does that make sense? It do very much. And that's why, we're a little niche broadcaster. And what we talk about is the education and the information about what you're doing. A lot of these guys, you've been in the closet, so per se, and we all out. We all got outed. And some of us got more experience than others, but we all can take education. I learned because there's so much more science. If you want to get out into the microbes or how plants grow, that's where we at with the science. And every week it's like it's a new discovery almost, and it's the same with us being consumers. It's not so in the backwoods. But once again, our neighbors right up north to us have the market study. We do not have to go. You want to see what they're doing, go right to Detroit, even though Detroit and Cleveland are definitely different cities, but they have consumers. They was illegal, and then they went recreational. And how did they roll out from medical to their recreational? How are they dealing with their smoke shops? Did they go ban all that? No, and no, and no, and no. And guess what? It was a rash of smoke shops that opened up when the farm bill that allowed THCA to go through. It did open it up a lot because that's why people mailing stuff in. That's why people doing things. But then, like I said, this is like any other product. The quality and knowing what you have and having a good product and really knowing where it came from is what's going to hold through. Customer service and adding what we're doing here is giving people education. We telling you that if a dude willing to shyster you and sell you THCA or CBD instead of faking like it's THC and it's real weed, question that person. What are their intentions? You know what I mean? Like, this is a business dude. This dude is not out for the plant. That's what I'm saying. You go to the pop-ups. Shout out to Sohigho. That's SOWOHIO seed company. They had the free seed pop-up, and we're gonna go to do some of the stuff that they gave away this weekend. But over there, it's like the start of the gardener season. So we are waiting on the frost to break so we could get our outdoor plants, which is completely legal. So he had a free weed giveaway. And let me tell you, that community is robust. It's not just little. It's people that's coming out and they want to share, and we trading plants. He's trading seeds. And I'll give you all of this stuff. You log on to SOHIGHO 216 at Gmail, and we'll make a coordination. I'm gonna give away all of these packs of weed from my boy Sohigho, and we gonna get you. Let me see. Here you go. Grow Ohio right there. We got you right there. We're gonna give you all these seeds away. We got some other people that was there. I said CBD and OB extract. See, these people is 100% telling you the truth, man. They telling you they extracting the CBD. They got THCA and they
researching, try to get some good stuff. That's Mason Scott from OB Exotic and OBCBD. Look those guys up. They got their little website is shoporganicbotanic.com. Like, hit me up if you want to know them out. But it was some good people. Definitely shout out to my man, and he gonna be on the show probably next week. Solventless Syndicate. They was there and they had some good stuff. That was the best bag on the table. But also we got, if you had came over there to the free giveaway, Tilt Soil was over there. Tilt Soil right down on 23rd and St. Clair. Recycles right here from Cleveland, Ohio. Been recycling dirt, some of the best dirt, and they got like they gave out the boost. This was the shit. Like, you add this to some regular dirt that you get out of Home Depot organic, and this right here will keep the microbes up in that dirt for probably about a good month or two. This is very, very good, but that's some deep stuff when we talking about how you gonna grow and what you're growing and what you're growing in. But Tilt Soil also represented very, very well out there, and it is coming into 420 weekend, man, and we're gonna talk a little bit about. It is a shit ton of events going on. The Oberlin smoke thing, but I'm going to tell you right now, we always over at Red Lion, we usually have a show. We was going to have the Backwood Art Show on this week's drawing night on Thursday over at Red Lion 4030 Studio, and it was going to kick off our little 420 weekend. But the art show got pushed back to May. So there's going to be a bunch of artists doing cannabis-inspired things, but they're using wood somehow as a medium to play on the Blackwoods. And let me tell you, Sohigho almost don't want to put their name on that, but I have for the last 5 years because I don't smoke no backwoods. Backwoods is trash woods to me. I don't know. You got a nicotine problem if you smoking backwoods. Let's be honest with you. Swisher sweet smoking. Bro, let's be honest, man. And Swisher smokers, I hate to tell y'all, Swishers, Black and Mild, backwoods. I used to be, and I'll be 100 with y'all. I smoke a cigarette or two because I don't like my nicotine mixed with my. I got a nicotine problem, but I don't like the two mixed together.
No, we were talking about that the other day.
Yeah, it's the Spliff Stars, man. Like, that's so European. I know where that came from. If you got a West Indian or somebody from Europe, and really not even that far, East Coast, big bro. I'm talking about Maine down to Baltimore will put grabba up in that damn blunt. You talk about grabba in the backwood, man, that's the nastiest. I don't see how they could tell the flavor of anything, but that's just that is me. I do not do that. But the name of the show is gonna be Backwood. We're gonna have another date on the 19th, but this weekend we got the Tiny Shop concert series, and like I like to always say, it's a smoke-friendly event for sure on 420. I got a couple special jars I'm breaking out for y'all. We're going to have some great deals for y'all. Definitely pre-rolls by Sohigho, but we got Black Vanguard. We got Mondo Slade and Minister Hyde coming out. Some of Cleveland's original, $20. I think you're going to get a free drink with your ticket. It's an Eventbrite. Red Lion 4030 Studio, Mondo Slade, Tiny Shop, man. It's just a great time. It's intimate. It never be about I ain't gonna say less than 100, so it's real close. You want to see some great lyricists who throw great lines over great music. They got great video. They got just such a stage presence. It's like what I like you see you do when you do your show. It's a pro level to when you do your pro set. There's a little shout out to my man Went. My favorite set when you did was in between that set where you had to fill in that 15 minutes. I tell him all the time about this because it was a table full of down the way sisters. And if you ain't from Cleveland, you might not know. Down the way is down the way. It's exactly what we said. And they was just killing the waitress before you get. They was giving her the business. Bitch, I need more butter. This lemon is sour. Shit, crazy ass shit. They was giving her the business. Man, you had them busted up wide open, man. I just love that. I always think back to that. I lost my train of thought because I smoked too much weed. But the tiny shop is going to be this Saturday the 19th, and then on 420, I know the Loonies and Chip the Ripper is going to be out at Oberlin at the Lake House also. So that seemed like it's a cool event. But I'm going to let y'all know about Oberlin. Not to be no hater in this thing. Don't forget, Snoop didn't come to Ohio for a long time because Oberlin busted it from weed from back in the day.
Damn.
Yeah, that is like a real ass situation. So just be careful. And at this stage of the game, I'm treating 420 like New Year's Eve now. It's almost turning into rookie night.
I mean, I feel like 420 and my birthday are the same.
Oh, no shit.
In the sense.
I did not know that
No. My birthday's in October.
Oh.
They're the same in the sense of like people are like, what are you doing on your birthday? Yeah. I'm like, oh, nothing. Like, because I
did a couple
every day I live like it's my birthday or 420. I eat good, I smoke good, I hang out with friends, I hang out with family, maybe I do comedy, maybe I just chill to crib.
Right.
But it's like when you live a good life, it's just a day. So like, maybe like if you could make an effort to spend have a nice little smoke session with the homies,
right?
And like whatever. Yeah. But also, could probably just smoke weed at the crib.
Yeah,
like it don't need to be anything super special. But it is a nice excuse to connect.
Yeah,
with other smokers and go about your business. But I don't think it needs to be. It's no longer like it's 420. Let's make a water bong from scratch.
And I'm gonna be honest, if you really want to do some stuff, treat it like Black Friday. Go around to your head shops and your different places, and it might be a good time to buy. But the dispensaries ain't gonna give you nothing. So the place that we telling you can buy guaranteed free weed at is not gonna have no 420 sales, bro. They are not allowed by the statute we talking about. Sales and all that shit. That's a negatory. That you cannot do that shit. These are the dispensaries that. So it's almost like that's when I look at our government and this bureaucracy. Like who's zooming who? Like it's a reality, and it's this bullshit that y'all keep trying to act like is enforceable or something, and y'all guilty as fuck. I don't even want to go to these politicians' house. I hate to piss test them dudes. This shit, the jig will be up, bro. It's over with, man. But take it easy. And I'm gonna tell y'all, like, I would be remiss if I don't have a show and not say gummies. You must go low and slow. If you never did gummies before, do not take that single 100, 150 gummy and eat that whole thing. Bro, if it's your first movie, that will tear you up. I eat gummy. I eat weed pretty regular. 50 sometime or some good shit will curl me up right here on this couch and it'd be like rap time.
Yeah.
100, and I knew why some people have to go to the hospital because it's like psychotic. You are almost out of your body, not doing real good. So you must go low and slow with the gummies. And what I mean by that is low dosage and go slow. It takes 35 to 40 minutes before the on take after you ingest it. And if you don't know, that's because it's got to go down your stomach, get digested, and go into your bloodstreams. That's anything. Advil take 30 minutes. Anything you ingest orally, it's going to take about 30 minutes to get in your bloodstream. Wait. Don't go around here because they're going to be passing out gummies on 420 at all of these shops like candy, bro. And they will pass out a lot of gummies. And you cannot just sit there. I don't want people to have a bad experience on something that they maybe can enjoy. But if you overindulge, it's going to be uncomfortable. And if you new to the game, get your pocket knife out and cut that bitch in half. If it say 100, get the half, the half, the half, the half, the half. And you do not have to eat it all. And after about an hour, if you saying, oh, I can handle this, maybe you can take another 10 milligrams and keep going. But you cannot, please, going into 420. Do not eat your cousin's brownie who said, oh, I've been boiling this fucking oil for 5 weeks. It was just stem seeds and shit. It ain't that strong. Bull fucking shit. Bullshit. Plenty of dudes like, oh, I ate 2 brownies, and you over there curled up. You will be. My man, D Selector, my cameraman, who is an experienced. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, he my damn guinea pig. He tests everything for me. He ate 75 last night, slumped. He is 6'3", 280, and experienced with it. If it's knocked him out, it's gonna kill you. Don't do it. So going into 420, I'm gonna say look up clevelandinfo.com. It's so many damn events going around. I don't know exactly which one we're gonna commit to because I'm supposed to judge at the Oberlin thing, I believe. It's going to be a blunt rolling contest. And, you know, at one time I was cool with that. But then I also like visiting some of my favorite smoke shops. I don't even call them smoke shops. I go to the head shops. I'm going to go out to the spot in Painesville. I love going over there to see him. And to truly be honest with you, if I really was on a 420 type situation, I would go to Cookies in Detroit.
Yeah, I like Cookies. They do it good. It's just so well presented.
Yeah, Bernard, get down, bro.
Well organized.
Yeah.
It's the. I'm trying to think. Last time I went up because I was driving back from a gig.
Yeah,
and there's several Cookies in
the
Michigan.
One
area.
in Monroe now too.
One in Monroe. So I stopped at the one closest to Detroit, and. You know, they were knowledgeable. They were out of a couple things, like, you know, had stuff up on the shelf that they didn't have a stock of. But other than that, they were willing and able to answer my questions I had about, you know, because a lot of places you're like, oh, can I get something that's a sativa? And they're like, this. And I'm like, is this a hybrid? Like, they're like, no, we don't have any sativa. We got this hybrid. They had knowledge to tell me what was what.
Correct.
Where a lot of places are just like, this is what you want.
I hate that.
So I really enjoyed it, and then it just has a good presentation. I don't know how else to explain it.
You know why? Yeah, I'll tell you why.
Branding. It's like going into like a nice space that's just like, oh, y'all planned this well.
Correct. Cookies was the first place, and I don't know if he marketed that, but he had the clear glass on top, right? And he had a smell
like a magnifying glass.
But underneath it was soft, so you could check the texture of the weed. He was the first dude. Them dudes was fucking ingenious. It was everything that we not doing in Ohio. Like, man,
Ohio, you can't smell it,
you can't see it.
You can't prepackaged, so.
And then ask the dude behind the counter if he smoked it. He like, I ain't never smoked this in here. I was like, so how am I supposed to know? And unless one of us like put the report out, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you credit. Glenn Dalis out of Akron grow great weed. You can only really find it at the Sandusky dispensary. Great weed, great growers. Buckeye Relief always grow a great bag. Fucking Clutch, you can't even find Clutch up in Northeast Ohio anymore because Columbus Market take it off. So they limit it. So here's the rub. They got a garden that can only grow in a certain facility, and they asking the medical community to share their fucking crop with the recreational community, and we are dwarfing the medical community. Yeah. When I say dwarf, we are dwarfing it. Guess what that means? The supply of good weed is low. You go to the dispensaries, and when I say this, like, just so you guys know, a little education for you, it's grades of weed and not particularly THC or character. It's size, shape, and weight. So this right here will be like considered a grade A bud. It's a certain size. It's got to be about $50, and it's actually slots on the table that these are fit through. And that is what's going to go in your bag. And if it's not grade A, so then when they get down to the smalls, guess what? Yeah, you could be all the way down to D. D bags, even on the freaking on the pound prices, is less. That's exactly what they doing throwing in those packages. tricking the consumer out. And that's when we got the councilman on TV talking about regulation and anything, but it's no consumer protection in there. We haven't had no consumer advocacy for any of these things, and they won't let the people who we are supposed to elect these people and let it's like the taboo of the marketplace won't allow some people to speak out. People don't want to get on a podcast and talk about this. I don't really give a shit, me myself, because it needs to be this information out here. And you have to be realistic about this, and they are not talking to the constituent. Have these laws, don't nobody give a shit. And the other half, if you say, oh, it's too many smoke shops, say, you want a smoke shop or you want an abandoned building with the crackheads hanging out in front? I'm taking the smoke shop, bro.
Yeah.
I'm taking the smoke shop.
I mean, because a lot of smoke shops will rehab a building and then just not stay open long, so then the building's ready for the next
You see what I'm saying? Is that bad?
I have my eyes on several.
You know what I'm saying? I got my eye on churches because they're going out of business. That's a different damn podcast. But yeah, it is very, very true, man. We have to be like more conscious about what we're doing. And it is getting close to growing season. And I do want to talk a little bit about cultivation. You got to be clear of the frost. When I say clear, it ain't clear yet. Today, that hawk today, bro, your plants wouldn't have made it from the windshield. You'd have put them babies out of there and you'd have lost all of those babies if you went out there like a day ago. It was like sunny and
now 73. Are there things people can do now to prep for planting? So you mentioned the soil bag you got over here to augment what you can get from Home Depot. What's the best practices for like getting an outdoor space, garden space ready? Should I have other, like, what if there's other flowers around it? Is that good or bad? What if there's other, like any guidance along those things so people out there can kind of think about where they want to put their stuff?
Very, very great question. To me, it's when you tore your plant down that you should have replenished it with your compost and you want to redo the dirt. Marijuana is a freaking nutrient-sucking plant. So your dirt will go out of nutrients in a month worth of time. Certain bags farm, and shout out to Fox Farm, no shots out to Fox Farm, because they used to last for 30 to 35 days. Now, whatever they did, they cheapened their product up, and at 20 days, you need the top dress again. And top dressing is adding like Gaia Green or powdered nutrient or liquid nutrient to put the microbes and things back in your dirt. So to answer your question of prep work now would be that having your worm castings already in the ground, putting a certain cover crops. If you look up online, it's lots of cover crops. If you in a place with pest problems, rosemary, start planting your cover crops. It's Luna All Day on Instagram. Her name is Luna All Day. She is the best natural dirt grower. Most people growing outside is going to put it in the dirt that's around there because you want the root system to grow. To grow an outdoor pot, that pot would be huge. You almost have to use the dirt around you and make that work. So prepping it, knowing what the dirt is, getting that compost mix right. If you're rich enough to test your soil, that's what you would do. Check your pH balances in there. You can do that with the little shaker thing. Make sure you in good and get that thing set up for a long, haul run. The main things I would do right now is amend where you going to put it at. With rice hulls, it's just an easy, instead of perlite that'll just jam your garden up, it'll look ugly over there. It don't compost. It'll break down in 20 years. But, and remember, rock wool does not break down. So if you guys can stay away from rock wool best we can, stay away from that. But using rice hulls, having that 50%, maybe like 20% worm castings in there, maybe a little topsoil dirt, some Gaia Green, you want to put grow, just general fertilizer in there, and let that start going. General science right now and bro science right now would be those companion plants, just like you said. So it's too early for all of that. But what is not too early for, and which is bro science right now, is potatoes. So if you was gonna go outside and prep your little 3x3 area flat on your thing, clear off all the grass that you can, dig that up like that, plant you 2 or 3 potatoes in the bottom of it, because there's some symbiotic relationship between um, the potato plant and the marijuana plant. Me personally, I just think it's the potato roots are allowing more space for the marijuana roots to
I think it's probably
grow.
because the marijuana knows that the potatoes about to be real good tater tots.
Is competition. Listen, plants is fucking competitive too. That's another thing. Pick your location. Like by now, like me and my buddy, we got behind the house. When we started off in the spring, guess what? Full sun up to sundown. By the fall, we was like worst place we could have picked in the yard. Chopping us off, it was like it was just blocked from the sun at the sunset. His house like moved to where the sun started setting. So picking a good location is great because you want all year. And outdoor, you can't count the numbers like you can on the seeds indoor. If it say 70 days to bloom after veg, that's pretty much what you're gonna get. Outdoor, it ain't really like that. It's just let it rip, tater chip, and it's gonna go at what you want. But prepping that soil. Okay. Number one, the companion plants getting going. And, I would tell you, it's so much information out there. The best thing for you to do is just follow one person. There is 100 ways to get the great plants. And it's a lot of ways to get there. Don't follow 5 people. You can't do half organic and then go to Ace Hardware and get the Fox Farm and add their general nutrient. Now, if you knew you was phosphorus deficiency and you wanted to go and get some phosphor to add in there, yeah, that's cool. If you understand your plant, but if you growing a good ecology in your dirt, you don't really have to buy dirt no more. So the modern, what I would say is start concentrating on feeding your microbes, getting those. I'll tell you where we at right now. It's just not where I'm at right now in my mix is not just even worm casting, it's insect frost too. So you got to add in what's feeding the different microbes, and we getting smarter. So I'm rice hulls, cocoa cure, compost, and worm castings is my mix. Okay. And that's my general mix because I'm trying to make a whole ecosystem under the dirt. My feed now is aloe and beets. And nothing else. I don't use no more nothing. It's like because we are getting smarter. And guess what? Next year I'm going right out to the yard. We literally, it's so soft right now that I'm gonna dig down like a handful out, just set it to the side. Some worms gonna come up, and I'm gonna set the plant right in there and pat it right back down because it's black, it's fertile, it's living. In the winter, you should see it. It's smoking. It's no snow is gonna melt over there because there's life going on down there, and they making heat, and that's what we're going for. And if you really want to be sustainable about what we're doing, and that just let me know other things about how fuck shit this farm system is and how bad the food system is. And I'm learning all of this from marijuana. So that's a good reason why to go there. But yeah, prep that soil right now. Look at the Farmer's Almanac. I'll tell you flat out, the Farmer's Almanac damn near been on point about when that last frost hit. Yeah. So if you're in rural Ohio, until you smell a shit on the farm, that's when they about to plant the corn. And you can always say, in rural Ohio, they say that's the smell of money. But when you see that and they start planting, you start planting because we don't want to kill our babies. And you see how windy of a day this is. That's something that we as a collective has to get together too, because we found ourselves putting up wind barriers and wrapping our plants tighter than I would have thought. especially, and I was in Lorraine too. That's crazy. Tight, man. We was all at Rural King getting wire to wrap our plants up because the wind had got, last year we had got a couple tornadoes, couple hailstorms, shitty bad rain. We lost the power up here. I lost a couple gardens because the power went out for fucking 4 days. It was just brown out. It was enough to keep my lights on, but not enough to run the ballasts. I almost think that was player hating on purpose. Damn. But then our outdoor season was rough because you think about how much rain, how much wind, how many storms. Every time they say tornado, and you might be 4 weeks in the flower, not the strongest plant for a windstorm like that, Hard rain, you'll go back out and that sucker will be knocked out. But good thing about this plant, it's residual. Treat it bad, prop it back up, and you're going to be like, man, that was the best one. That was some of the best stuff. You treat it bad. I don't know. It's something about, even with this plant, if that plant is so stressed out, it'll make a seed. It's not been pollinated, but somehow it'll force a seed out because it just has, I think all plants was just made to reproduce. They got one single purpose in that DNA to make more. We don't want to die. So they'll force that seed out, which is not a bad thing. Finding a seed, but I did, the blind bug cultivator told me, I thought when you popped those seeds and you found the seed, it was automatically feminized. Not the truth. I got lucky like 4 times by having feminized seeds and didn't know that. And as soon as he told me that, I got like 3 males the next time. It was like, I was like, he cursed me. I had it good. Yeah, but you got to be careful and just study up on what you're doing. It's so much information. I think we're going to be having some seminars. Shout out to Monica and the Jabril Corporation over there. They're going to be opening up 2 new smoke shops. They're right on 55th and Superior. Very nice ladies, very comprehensive. They was at that same meeting today, and I was chicken shit to talk about weed because I want some other bag of money from these people. But that was me. But they was out in front with it. But shout out to them. She said she was going to tune in for us. And shout out to all they doing over there. It's a great company over there, and they are very comprehensive about what they're doing, and they want to start with education too.
Which is where it should start.
Yeah, they want to have classes to be like, and we do need that. And I think I know I want to do a series with you too. I do want to do the best munchie places in Cleveland, man. Ramon know the spots too, bro. He do. Man, we probably can leave here and go get that damn I'm still stuck on the damn sandwich. I want to eat the pho so bad.
But the sandwich is banging. But the fuzz is also banging. So.
I know, but I can't get off the sandwich. You shouldn't have gave me that sandwich first because I look at that other stuff and I'd be like, nope, just give me 2.
See, the thing, you get the sandwich and you dip it in the soup.
Oh, golly.
That's where it's at.
See, the sandwich is still too damn good, man. The sandwich is off the hook. But yeah, I want to do that with you, but definitely go do some more vlogging because going out on the road, like you would have loved to be at the free weed giveaway. It was just a great time. It's that community of smokers that you miss that kind of it's legal, like almost like it when it was illegal because we were a tighter collective. Yeah. You knew it was
you had to know who you was getting from. You ain't getting weed from no one you don't know.
Yeah. And that's not the truth right now, y'all. I'm going to be honest with you. It's some nefarious people. All of these smoke shops is purporting to be selling real weed, and we know they selling THCA. Bro, that's not who you really want to do business with.
Not at all.
Man, I'm going to be honest. The people from the traditional marijuana market is some of the most honorable people you know because you cannot sell a bag of booth. Bro, it's over for you. If I sold my mom a bag of trash and she thought she was getting some killer,
you're not just giving your mom weed?
I'd sell that shit to her. She smoked too much. My man just said that. Nah, I'll probably give my mom weed. She used to call it rabbit tobacco. I was like, and then when she got older, she was like, I never smoked no weed. I was like, rabbit tobacco? Boy, no. I was like, no, mama. I don't know if you get older or not, but she used to call it, remember Uncle Yago, and he went and got me. It was really my great uncle I be calling his name wrong, but it's Yegu. And he from Mississippi. They both from Grenada, Mississippi. So they was like, oh, they knew I was smoking. I was only about 11 or 12. It was like, yeah, Yegu got weed. They'll go get it. It was the most sparsely grown outdoor weed. Listen, shit, this shit was yellow. It was sunburnt. Thinking back on it, Acapulco Gold was really burnt weed that was overcooked in the sun that just turned yellow. And they called that shit Acapulco Gold. But it was Acapulco Gold, and I got lucky enough to see weed that was grown in Africa. Man, the bud structure is so fucking loosey-goosey. It's not even fucking funny. And this is the weed that Uncle Yegu had. So this ain't it. This is a bad representation right here. But more like just loose, like no bud structures to it, but it was still weed. It's like that Jamaican weed was like that a lot. They better now because the genetics was better. See, now I know why that was. They was just growing any fucking thing. They'd take the seeds they found out of this and just replant it. And that's all they was really doing. It was no select phenome. It was no science on that. They was just trying to grow for as much as they could get. Stem seeds and every goddamn thing. Hermaphrodite, who gives a shit? Well, that should be hell yeah, that should be in Cleveland in the morning, goddamn it, it's sold. And that was the truth, but nah, that loosely sparse weed. I remember him going to get me that weed, and I looked at that, and I must have been a weed snob at 11. And I probably went into my sock and I tore his ass up with some Cleveland brick weed back in the day. I've been doing this for a while, but I think we covered almost everything. I did want to shout out my man Lenny B with the Ohio Cannabis Health Business Summit. He's going to be coming up. Get your tables. It's going to be on October 3rd through the 4th. So if you don't know, this is probably the biggest expo, and Lenny been in Cleveland. He is going to be doing that. Make sure you get y'all signups for that that's going on. Very good. It's gonna be huge this year. It's really gonna be the Midwest best. So if you got your product, it's sort of like industry, but it is a lot of retail people that's coming through there. So it's a good marketplace for all things cannabis too. But it's very good, and it's not just like a weed bazaar. It's conferences and shit. You can go and get education. You could go to some of the seminars. He have great speakers out there, and really him himself being in this industry, it's great. I mean, just page after page after page after page of speakers. I met the Canatrol people there. I got a whole bunch of people I'm supposed to be interviewing from that, but sometime I do, sometime I don't. I like doing what we do though. But also shout out to my man EP at the Voice of Radio. Definitely miss my man. He got a bad case of smoking gas station weed right today. He fucking sick as shit. I told his ass, but smoke that fucking booth, you're gonna get what it's gonna give you though. That's some of the worst shit ever. I think I got it all. I think
appreciate you having me as always.
It is always my pleasure. I think we covered it all. I'm probably forgetting something, but I'll tap back in on when we get there. Every Tuesday at 4:20. Thank y'all so much for tapping in and staying with us and making this one of the best the best damn weed show you ever listened to. You got any questions for us? Definitely Sohigho 216. And don't forget, you email me and you're gonna get free seeds from Sohigho, SOWOHIO. Shout out to them. Shout out to the Solventless Syndicate sponsoring that Trop Cherry. Got us right. Gonna get my man together. Definitely check y'all out on Sunday. Con 2, the mic that never ends over at Dunlap's. Go support your local comedian. It's an open mic somewhere around here almost every day of the week almost in this town.
Every day.
And we need to support our comedian. If you don't think weed and comedy go together, you like stupid as fuck. Ain't nothing better than being high and laughing to me, man. We have a good ass time at all of these things and support those comedians. I try to do my best to make some rounds at least once a week to see some of the comedy. It's just a good time and some support some local folks, man. Go to the Indians versus Yankees. I want to say we'll probably chop it up next time we on. Yeah. Me and Ramon went to a couple of the Indians game got some good. Hey, they let you bring food in there now, folks.
Yep.
You gotta look it up. We're gonna have some deluxe. We'll be in the poor, cheap seats, eating the food out our cooler. But check us out, man. Thank y'all so much. I don't know if we're gonna do hot mess in the evening to the night, but if we do, we'll check you out on the Voice of Radio, man. Shout out to EP, get well soon. And like you always say, smoke weed so you don't punch somebody in the face, man. Y'all be easy now. Yeah. Cool.